Yo, what's up guys? It's Yellowfin and the PL18 Learn the Savannah Way update has dropped. I took a quick look at it, but this is basically a pretty close reaction to what I saw and how I feel about this new update. And honestly, my expectations from the reveal, the little sneak peek that I gave you guys, they were lived up to. They honestly were lived up to. I really actually enjoy this update. One thing first I want to show, my Audi Sport Quattro S1 got a really nice looking photo. This photo is absolutely amazing. So just makes it so much nicer that I do own that car now, the Audi Sport Quattro S1. A few of my other cars got a picture change too. The only one I can really think of right now off the top of my head is my Mercedes somewhere. This one, the Mercedes-Benz A160, that got a picture change. It's purple now. But that's the only really ones I can think of off the top of my head that are like in my garage at least. There are, and the Chevy SSR got a picture change too. That's somewhere. There's lots of RQ changes, so there it is, RQ45, Chevy SSR. Also got a very nice new picture too, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about, well, I guess it is part of the new update, but we're here to talk about the new cars, the new cool stuff, and I've already got one. From one of my events, I got a new car. It was from an event ceramic, and this is what I have. The Ford FTE TS50, literally my first pack of the new update, and I pull a new Super Rare, which I'm pretty happy with. I will happily take a new Super Rare. So pretty cool one too. It's got low ground clearance. I have not tested the MRA yet. It's a little bit heavy, but tuned by FTE. So it's pretty cool. I will take it. I do, honestly, that's the thing. There really isn't a car I dislike in this update, which is why I like it so much. We got some new Chryslers, really not very many though. There weren't very many Chryslers added in this new update, but that's fine because they did add some really cool ones like this. The Valiant Charger RT 6-pack, very nice looking car. Another Valiant Charger, that one with not as great of a picture, but it could be worse. This one's pretty decent, even though it's a white background. Placement is still pretty nice on this Valiant Charger. So 3 pretty cool muscle cars. We got some more lower tier muscle cars here, like the Chrysler by Chrysler 360. This one I definitely want to get. That's a very nice looking car. And we have the Valiant Charger right here, plus a couple of other commons as well, like the Chrysler Drifter van, which is a pretty interesting one. We got a pickup truck right here, the Valiant Wayfarer, Centura, and we got 2 Chrysler by Chryslers, both of which are different models from different years. So some pretty interesting Chryslers, nothing too special besides these Valiant Chargers though. They're actually pretty interesting. It will be interesting to see what the MRA is on them as well. 6.5 68. 68 is actually some pretty high handling. Let's check. So we'll do D, rear wheel drive perfs, miscellaneous, medium, country, we'll do USA and Australia, just to get us a bit of an overlook on the more low handling type of cars. So 6.5 is kind of more on the slower end. Here's the Ford Falcon 2 from the new update. Plus you can see a couple other new update cars. So 6.5 is a bit on the slower end for dragsters, but that 68 handling honestly isn't too bad. So if it's got some pretty decent MRA, it actually could be a pretty good fast circuit car if it's actually maintaining its end with the MRA side of it, because that's actually surprisingly lightweight. 1375. How low is the Camaro? Yeah, 1650. All right. 1720. So that's actually pretty light too. 1375 if you want to race a muscle car on slalom test, I guess. But pretty interesting then. Will be interesting to see what the MRA is on those. Then we move on to Ford. Ford got a bit more new cars compared to Chrysler. We have a prize car, Ford Falcon FPV GTF. That's the thing. This update has no new Legendaries. I'm going to talk about that first, actually, because I do want to talk about that. This update has no new Legendaries. Like Lock to Lock, we received quite a few. We got, 8, 9, 11 Legendaries from Lock to Lock. But with Learn the Savannah Way, no new Legendaries, which is pretty interesting. But honestly, I'm not complaining. I really don't need Legendaries in the new update. There's already plenty of Legendaries in the game, most of which I will never pull. So really adding another new Legendary won't really do much. I mean, maybe I'll pull it and it'll be like, woo, yippee, I got a new Legendary. Have a cool reaction or something. But really, an update doesn't honestly need a Legendary. It seems like Hutch are going more back to their older type of style of updates, whereas like 1 to 2 cars in a brand, similar to the Mazda update. The Mazda update never had a Legendary in it either, even though it did add the Mazda Furai. The Mazda Furai actually was epic in the beginning, so maybe they're going back to that type of update where they're more just focusing on brands and adding more cars to more brands and like tightening up the ends, because there's a lot of ends that can be tightened. We got like South Korea and Brazil And Russia could also have some cars added. So there's a lot of other, China too. China's got some car companies. And so there's like a lot of other loose ends. Plus there's a lot of Japanese brands, a lot of American brands that could still have a lot added to. But that wouldn't really have very many legendaries. And honestly, seeing an update like this definitely brings forth the potential that those brands could be added in the future. Now there are other like legendary heavy brands that could have been added, and of course there are legendaries that could have been added in this update as well, like Brabham, or as you saw in my custom update, a ton of slick tire rear wheel drive Holden race cars. But they really didn't need to do that. They really didn't need to add them. They probably would have been a prize car anyway, the Brabhams especially. Like, honestly, I'll take it as this update without having any legendaries. So it's honestly a pretty cool update, and I don't really see there was a need for a legendary to be added in this update. And so we go back to Ford. There is some nice prize cars though. There's kind of weird, like, do you see that right above the 70? There's like that weird little line right there above like A on the left side. There is an interesting line right there. Don't know what that's all about. Ford Fairline as well is an interesting one too. In the Falcon XR6 Sprint, this one might have some pretty decent MRA. I don't know. Could be pretty interesting. It has the sleeper tag. But there are a lot of interesting Fords as well. A lot of low ground clearance ones. All the FPVs have low ground clearance. FPV GTP as well. These will be some pretty interesting ones maxed out, like the Mustang 4883. So this will get into what, the 3 seconds about? 3.8 maybe? 3.892? Isn't too bad of stats. Pretty decent stats all around. Will be interesting to see its MRA on it as well. The Falcon XR8 Sprint has some really good 0 to 60 at 4.4 with medium ground clearance paired with it as well. We got some Utes too. FPV GS Ute and the FPV GS. So similar to what the custom update had. A lot of stuff of Ute and other sedan or saloon version of it. So a lot of Falcons, a lot of interesting super rares. And that's the thing. That's also why I really like this update and why it lived up to my expectations, because it added a lot of cars that are very accessible to collect, and that I'm also excited about collecting. Like, I honestly want to max out all of these super rares of all these new ones. There's some interesting rares too, but especially all these Ford super rares right here. Like this one, is this guy medium? Not low ground clearance, but still pretty cool looking. We got some more right here. All of these new ones I want to keep and max out, so my video coming out after this, my 10 most wanted cars from this new update, will probably have a lot of those super rares in it. So definitely stay tuned for that. Plus we got some more, oh, there is one more thing I want to talk about. We got like rares and uncommons and stuff too. Pretty interesting stuff. There's the Falcon Bathurst Cobra, which a lot of you guys were not very happy with the pictures I saw in the comments. Laser SR2 though does have a pretty nice picture. And my Ford Common Collection is not complete yet again, because they're added the Ford Fairline 500, so looks like I've got another common I gotta look out to collect from Ford. So the Ford Fairline 500 is my next common. And Holden. Now this is the thing, what really makes up for this update. Like Ford was pretty, Chrysler was kind of meh. Chrysler didn't really add very much. Ford was pretty cool. Ford added a couple of nice cars. A lot of, really all of them I want to keep. All of them are pretty nice. But Holden is definitely where it sort of brings the update together, when what makes it similar to the Mazda update that was like in, I don't know, 2018, 2019, something like that. So the Mazda update from a long time ago. Probably a lot of you guys don't even know about the Mazda update, but that's when I started playing. But it's sort of what brings it to the similarity of the Mazda update. Just add one brand and just add a ton of it. And it honestly works. It honestly works. We added Australia as sort of onto the map pretty much in this game. And they added a lot of cars and a lot of different niches to it. We've got medium ground clearance cars, pretty good performance cars, a lot of really cool looking cars too. We got all surface tires, cars that will actually be pretty interesting to see how well they perform. 7.0, 75. We got medium ground, or never mind, that's high ground clearance. I was going to say medium ground clearance all surface tires, but a lot of all surfs. We got some medium city streets cars. We got, oh, that's medium too, actually. That's pretty nice. We got 100 MRA. Yep, I said that right. 102 MRA ultra rares with the Holden Effigy, or however you pronounce it. So we got some pretty cracked dragsters. We got four-wheel drive cars. We got cars made for rain. We got standards here. Yep, Holden Caprice with some standards. We got more all-surface tire cars. We got lots of pickups. We got more four-wheel drive right here. We got more perfs. Like, we've got a lot of interesting stuff. We got front-wheel drive, too. Like, Holden really just rounds up all the areas. We got some more perfs right here. We got more super rares for all-surface tire cars. We got medium cars. We got lots of interesting cars. We got Big Wang Gang. Holden HSV Maloo with the big wang on the back, which is pretty cool. I definitely want to keep that one with a giant wing like that on it. So definitely want to keep that one and look forward to keeping it. Holden Toronto, pretty interesting one. It's got a big old hood scoop, so pretty nice one as well. And so a lot of just cars that fill up all the various niches. We got some interesting looking standard tires. The Holden Cruise, 78 handling on it. 78 is pretty solid for a rare. So will be interesting to see how that performs. And just some really cool looking cars too, like the Holden Drover and the Holden Panel Van Sandman, which has a really interesting wrap on it. But hey, a lot of interesting cars and a lot of different cars. That's the thing. Holden Toronto too. We got 70s sports cars. I'm not sure if you consider a sports car, but hey, it's a 70s looking sports car. And the Holden Suburban too, just a rebadged Chevy Suburban. Looks like it has the Chevy logo on it, but so really Holden is just a very interesting, well-rounded brand, and it's got its one prize car of the HSV GTSR. So really, that leaves all these cars able to be collected as well. I mean, some of them are kind of meh, and like if you're not at the collector stage like I am, where I'm just looking for a lot of cars to collect, then maybe this update might be a little bit meh to you. But honestly, I'm really excited for this update, and I'm hoping to pull a lot of cool cars and just over time pull a lot of these cars and max them out, because these are definitely a lot of interesting rides. Some of which might not be like too overpowered or stuff. We do have some really overpowered ones like this one right here with the 102 MRA, but just a lot of interesting cars and a lot of cool cars, which is pretty much Australian cars. It's just interesting, cool cars, honestly, in my opinion, as an American. So we've got our cars here in America. We got a lot of trucks and muscle cars and random generic traffic. But Australia is definitely, from an outside look, a lot of interesting and just cool cars in general, which is definitely what was added to this update. It's just the interesting and cool car update and then a bunch of rebadge stuff too. So that is going to be it for this video. Definitely subscribe, because at 2,000 subscribers, there will be a 2 million pack opening plus 500k pack opening coming very soon for the new update. That'll be probably released in 2 days. So definitely hit that subscribe button and the bell. And join the Discord server, link in the description, and that'll be it. I'm Yellowfin. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.